It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello and welcome. Glad you could join us here on 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. Next to me, Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it's the Washington Wizards as they'll be playing against the Detroit Pistons. Looking at the Pistons, their first time playing these guys this season. A year ago, going 1-2. They'd like to improve on that this go-around. And the Detroit Pistons, a solid defensive team, but their lackluster offense has held them back. What do they need to improve there, Kenny?
I think they just need some more outside shooting. Spread the floor, give their guys some driving lanes. You got a true center in Andre Drummond, so he needs some space because he's a space eater.
And, their best player is more of a defensive player. They need a few more shot creators as well.
That'll do it. Both teams ready for tip. Kevin Harlan has the call.
Hello, basketball fans. You've got it on 2K Sports as we get set to bring you an exciting NBA basketball game. Alongside Greg Anthony and Steve Smith with David Aldridge on the sideline, this is Kevin Harlan. And with the road trip approaching, the Wizards play the final game of their homestand. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Pistons team. Guys, they came out on top of the season series matchup a season ago, taking 2 of the 3 away from them.
And as you would expect, they came out on top in last season's series against this club, but no reason to expect anything different this time around.
They just seem to match up very well whenever they play these guys. You can tell they have a ton of confidence.
And as things get ready to roll, let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's on the sideline. David?
Well, guys, Stan Van Gundy was the head coach in Miami, Orlando, and now Detroit. Now, he's promised his wife that this is the last stop. He said, I wanted one more shot at it. I've got a great owner, and I should be able to get it turned around in the time that he's given me. If I don't, I don't. But this will be the last one. Kevin?
And DA, it's obvious that Stan has a real love for the game. Here's hoping he turns that storied franchise around. And Smitty, 2 explosive teams as far as athletic ability, and that's always fun to watch.
It is. It's also fun to watch the guys get out of the way. They don't want to get dunked on, the highlight reel. You can see the guys are saying, hey, I don't want to be on a highlight reel.
No
so
poster,
I'm
man.
like I got my man. I'm going to hug my man and say I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
All right, ready to go? Ready to go?
So Detroit will get the first possession. Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. On the court for the Pistons, Jackson and Bradley are in the backcourt. Lure and Drummond together down low. And it's Harris in at the 3. Now here's Wall. After the miss from Andre Drummond. Morris with the screen for Wall. No good on that one. The Pistons go the other way with it. They defeated Charlotte in their last game.
Guys, there's so many great scorers in our league. It makes it tough to get stops, but somehow they were able to do it consistently in that one.
The reason why their rotations were quick, they prevented easy shots and they kept their opponent out of rhythm.
Offensive rebound. It's stolen by Wall. Beal drives in. The kick out to Porter. A 3-pointer is right on target. Porter's got himself on the board with 3 there.
There's a chance he could go for a big game if they don't D him up on the perimeter.
Left side, Harris. Over Porter. Harris missing again.
Yeah, scoreless here early after their first 4 shots. They, right now, are searching for a bucket.
Wall's shot is off.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
Out of bounds, Washington takes possession.
And right there, a little miscommunication on that pass.
First quarter, about a minute and a half in. It's Beal on the wing. He dishes it to Gortat. Back to Beal. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
A lot of laziness going on out there. Still early in the game, but that needs to get worked out.
Jackson kicks to Bradley. Over Beal. And again, it's the Pistons missing. For Washington, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Gortat with a screen on Bradley. The kick out to Wall. Over Jackson. Not enough on that one as it misses. For Detroit, they've gone a paltry 0 of 6 from the field here in what's been a very difficult start for them. Pass to Lure. Over Morris. Here's Drummond. Second chance shot. Gortat with the rebound. Gortat's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Here's Beal. Here's Porter. And terrific work on the offensive glass, and he picks up 2. Porter's got his 2nd bucket tonight.
Really nice job to convert the putback opportunity there. I mean, he stayed with that play from start to finish. That's something we say about him a lot.
Now here's Bradley. Coming off a solid outing against Charlotte. Again, the miss by the Pistons. Wizards leading by 7. Wall passes to Porter. The dish now to Gortat. 6 to shoot. Bank shot. No good.
Wow, he had it at point-blank range, but the defense was all over him.
Basket counts.
We know Harris is good off the dribble, now becoming equally adept at the catch and shoot.
For the Washington Wizards, they come in off the loss to the Philadelphia 76ers.
And the effort down the stretch, those final few minutes of regulation, you know, that's what they needed, but they were burnt out in the overtime.
Fatigue comes into play when games go into overtime, and you saw they just had no gas left in the tank in that loss.
And defensively, this is a nightmare. He's already on a roll.
Well, obviously, this was the strategy coming in. Feed him the rock and let him go to work.
Now, here's Bradley. Looking for his first basket still in this one.
Good open look. Avery looking poised with the ball in his hands, making decisions. The 2 big things that you want from a center are rebounding and defense. Drummond can provide both. One of the best rebounders in this league. Defense, though, it can be hit or miss at times.
Pistons trail by 8. Jackson kicks to Lure. Dishes it to Bradley. Rebounded by the Wizards.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark.
Porter passes to Beal. Pass to Gortat. Off target there. That would have pushed the lead to double digits. Jackson against Wall. Outside Jackson. Harris setting the pick for Jackson. It's stolen by Wall. Bradley against Beal. Outside Porter. He's off on that one. And Detroit the other way now. Bradley, no one around him. Basket is good. The assist from Harris. Bradley's got his first points in this one. Wizards leading by 6. And Wall kicks to Beal. Back to Wall. Takes the 3. Another shot, and there's the nice layup by Gortat. Gortat's got his first basket of the night.
And loving the hustle here early. I mean, they struck first on the offensive glass.
Knocked away. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pistons will retain possession. And a look now at the 4 areas where shots can come from. The paint, mid-range, and shots from deep, all broken down for the Wizards.
And really, there's just such a lack of scoring for them from out at the top of the arc in terms of three-point range. And in today's game, you have to get scoring from the three-point range. And that area out above the free throw line extended is a real weak spot for them so far.
Jackson dishes to Drummond. Jackson passes to Drummond.
In building this lead, they've done a terrific job finishing their defensive sequences with the backboard. That has been key.
Hangs, got a piece of it, and he recovers it. Tries it again, and there's Bradley Beal on the assist from Gortat. Beal's got 6.
Already, they've piled up 8 second chance points.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
And now the first timeout called here for Detroit.
And the Pistons last season getting their scoring from a lot of different sources. High score last season was Harris at 16 points. They spread the ball around and everybody chips in.
And the Wizards are going with a whole new group out there now. This break in the game gives us a chance to look at the teams with the most points off turnovers last season. In the 3rd position, the Wizards.
And they turned all those mistakes into points at the other end. That aggressive style really yielding big dividends.
And for the Pistons, without a true superstar on the offensive side last season, they needed to move it around to be effective.
Well, you look at the title teams of the Pistons over the years, and it's not a bad thing. When the Pistons are good, they are known for their depth. This team following a model that has worked well in the past for Detroit.
And the Pistons with possession here. Following the 3-pointer by Washington, there's a screen by Marjanovic. Johnson attacking. 1 up, 1 down. 2 points with his first shot this game.
And look, he's not the best athlete, but he's able to create the space he needs to operate.
Frazier against Smith. At the top of the key, Oubre. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And you need talent, Steve, but you know, the value of chemistry can't be overlooked either. And as a player, how do you make yourself a good teammate? How do you help in that regard toward good chemistry?
Well, I think one is being a good person, understanding the game of life, and it's about winning, not about numbers. It's about letters, W's and L's, and you want W's. You look at a lot of teams, and they play well with each other, and they're unselfish. Unselfish teams usually win.
Well, they said the same thing about you. You're an all-star caliber player, but you're a great teammate. I think for a player, that's like the highest praise you could get.
Yeah, it is. When you start talking about guys that he's a great teammate, whether he's a superstar or a guy, the 12th man, guys want to be around that. And usually you see those guys hang around the league longer than other guys that are maybe more talented or better players.
He hits one, then misses the second attempt from the free throw line. You know, Stephen, I think of Stan Van Gundy, I think of versatile, because we all know he's the head coach of the Detroit Pistons, but he's in charge of all their personnel moves, too. This guy's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, he does. I mean, when you start to look at it, he's wearing 2 hats. And one thing, he's doing a good job trying to run this organization from a management standpoint and also from a coach's standpoint. So far, so good for Stan. Some coaches might not like taking the 3 on the fast break, but he had the open look and buried it.
Smith against Frazier. Meeks on the wing. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a 3-point play.
Yeah, outstanding job there of taking the harm and still able to finish.
And he's got his first chance at the line here.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. 1 shot.
Well, when you look at this Washington team, the strength clearly lies in that backcourt. Wall and Beal, arguably the best backcourt in this league. They are the engine that motors this team with their scoring and playmaking.
Now here's Ellenson. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Here's Kennard. A 3-pointer off the mark.
They've been beating them to a lot of those loose balls and rebounds here to start.
Meeks can't hit. This Washington backcourt of Wall and Beal. Last season, Greg, they were able to both stay healthy, and Wizards fans finally saw just how potent they both could be.
And remember all those rumors how these two couldn't coexist? Well, they sure liked existing together last season. I mean, they really carried this group when it mattered, and both just explosive players who are not only leaders, but they're terrific two-way players for this franchise.
Here's Johnson after the basket by Washington. That one goes. Count it.
Great job of screening there. Nice job to take it to the rim and get the finish.
Here is Frazier. It's Scott on the wing. Good, and it's Frazier who picks up the assist. Frazier's got 3 assists tonight.
Great three-point shooting here out of the gate. That makes 4 makes already from long distance.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. Well, Greg, for 2 straight seasons before this, the Wizards have had a starting 5 that all average double figures on the year. The engine of this offense, I think, is the backcourt, but they can all hurt you, don't you think?
No doubt about it, Kevin. Having a balanced offense like they do makes it tough for teams to prepare defensively. You can't just double or key in on Wall or Beal because they do a great job of facilitating. I think the bigger question moving forward is just going to be, what will the impact of that bench be? And ultimately, that's going to determine whether they can contend.
And that one's good. Marjanovic.
And their post play has been really solid right off the bat.
Smith against Frazier. Mahimi down low. He's coming off a 13-point game against Philadelphia.
And his shot blocking almost single-handedly changed the game. No one wanted to put up a shot with him lurking.
Pistons trail by 12. And here's Smith. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
And that one gives them a +5 rebound advantage, Kevin.
To the wing on the left. Here's Oubre. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
And the Pistons last season, a very strong team on the defensive end. The top 10 in the league, in large part due to their closeouts and rebounding.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
Free throw, good, Oubre. And the rebounding of the Pistons, something that is very hard to deal with. The franchise has always put defensive effort at the forefront of what they want to do.
Yeah, when you think of all the successful teams in Detroit history, they all play not just defense, tough defense. This group has work to do, but they are on their way. I wouldn't be surprised if this group can be at the top of the NBA in the charts as far as defense.
Well, you know that a Stan Van Gundy team is going to be a disciplined team, and the Pistons were no exception last season.
Totally true. This team doesn't foul or give up the ball easily. Minimal turnovers per possession, second in the league. They close out well and they rebound well. Both signs of a team that has the fundamentals down.
The Pistons shooting their first free throw of the night. Wizards leading by 10. Now Frazier. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. Johnson against Frazier. Rebound, Washington. Now here's Meeks. He's got 5. It's stolen by Smith. Now Detroit moving it up. Johnson wide open. He fires. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim.
Taking what the defense offers up, Smith with good vision there finds the open man.
Frazier outside. Got it. Good job in the low post. And the Wizards lead by 10.
You know, it's going to be tough to win when you give the other team second and third opportunities to score the ball.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Ellenson kicks to Smith. On the wing, Johnson. 5 to shoot. And the rejection by Mahinmi. It's Meeks outside and released it in time, but it's off the mark. Domination in the first quarter. It's been pretty lopsided. Washington out in front, up by 10. And back with the start of the second quarter in just a moment. And John Wall spoke prior to the game. He talked about the identity of the Wizards team.
Defensively, just being that gritty and grimy team that makes it tough for teams to score in their paint. I think we can be a very great team.
The Wizards not exactly the first team that you think of when it comes to gritty and grimy team defense, but maybe he's really got a point here in how tough the Washington defense can be.
And you don't get there without the defense. I'm especially impressed that Wall has that mindset.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start this second quarter. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen from the Wizards, guys.
I mean, they just got hot early from beyond the arc, and we'll just have to wait and see if they can keep that going.
They also want to be unpredictable. Mix up the play calling. Keep the defense guessing.
Frazier is out there with Jody Meeks. Then there's Ian Mahinmi. Then there's Oubre, and it's Scott in at the four-man position. That's the group on the floor right now for Washington. Kennard's shot is off. Washington leading now by 13. Oubre kicks to Scott. And the rejection by Marjanovic. Frazier against Smith. Passes it to Marjanovic. Rebound by Mahinmi. Mahinmi's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. There's the 3. And again, Washington with the triple.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
There's a screen by Marjanovic. Smith the pass to Marjanovic. Oubre with the steal. And here's the fast break. Scott leading the way.
Not sure of the thought process on that one. Really bad shot selection.
Well, you're playing for the team, not just yourself. They needed much better execution that trip down the floor.
Now, here's Meeks. After the miss from Stanley Johnson. It's stolen by Marjanovic. Johnson goes in. Rebound by the Wizards. Down low. Stolen away. Nice job to interrupt the alley-oop attempt there. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Here's Kennard. And it comes off the front of the rim.
He's being aggressive, trying to turn around the team's fortunes, but he's having a hard time executing.
Frazier against Smith. Outside, Scott. Meeks on the wing. And it's Mahinmi finishing it off.
And, you know, it's one thing to get the offensive rebound, but then how about the loud bucket he's able to convert?
He was in perfect position under the hoop, Greg. You're right. Once he gets his hands on the miss. Now a timeout called by Detroit. Steve, as a player, do analytics give you a path to say, you know, I should change and lean more toward this, or I should stop doing that because I'm better at this? Does that ever enter a player's mind, you think?
Hey, Kevin, I think guys should look at these numbers. When you're saying from this spot you're shooting 20%, stop shooting from that spot. If from this shot you're shooting 80%, you might want to get to that spot. So, and I think that in those cases, yes, analytics work. And when you're shooting a 3 and you're shooting about 30%, you need to step in.
And the Wizards are going with a whole new group out there now.
And what I like about Avery at the guard position, he's unafraid to challenge the interior.
Wall dishes to Porter. Kicks it to Beal. Morris with a screen on Lure. And there's the call on Andre Drummond. That's his first foul.
And you can see he just didn't get squared up with his feet.
About 3 minutes played so far in the second quarter. And that one is good from Bradley Beal.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Bradley kicks to Jackson. And he's good on the 3 ball. Jackson's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball. Outside, Wall. And it's sent back by Drummond.
The obvious intimidation factor of Andre. That's 280 pounds flying after your shot.
Bradley kicks to Jackson. Back to Bradley. And the pass to Lure. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Shot from free throw range. Pistons keep it alive. Here's Drummond. Nice fake, but the layup off the mark.
You know what? He tried to lay it in at the point of attack. Just too much defensive pressure on that play.
Porter passes to Wall. Nailed from three-point land.
And each bucket at this point feels like a backbreaker.
Showing no mercy. Double-digit lead and still putting it on him.
Now here's Jackson. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against Charlotte.
You can't forget about how great he was at forcing contact and getting to the line. He racked up a lot of easy points at the line that way.
Here's Bradley. It's an 18-point game.
That's exactly how you have to defend him. He's a guy that the D needs to be aware of at all times.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. I think everyone can now agree that John Wall is one of the better point guards in the NBA.
No doubt. At this point, when you factor in his production, he's got to be in the top 5, if not top 3 guards in the league. One of the better passers we have as well. It's just hard to find guards that can create so easily the way Wall can.
2 shots.
The first one falls.
Yeah, easy to appreciate Wall, an all-star caliber talent who just fills up the stat sheet.
He's perfect from the line this time. Well, in the last half-decade or so, the NBA, Steve, has realized the true value of the corner 3, and now offenses all over the league are designed to take advantage of it. Part of that is because it's just closer to the rim than any other three-pointer.
Yeah, you're right, and you should. I mean, when you have a three-point arc, yes, the corner threes are going to be shorter, and it's harder from a guy to shoot it from straight on. But when you have a guy that can shoot it straight on, you can see the dynamics of a team defensively. It's hard to cover. But I don't think the NBA should widen the court because of the value of the corner 3. That's a part of the game.
Should the lane be widened? Should we talk about the court and making all the threes the same length? What about the lane?
Well, I think you can widen the lane if you change the defensive rules, because right now you're allowed to play zone. If you went back to man-to-man, yes, I think you should widen it. But when teams are allowed to play zone, I think the value of keeping it the same helps the defense a little bit more.
Free throw good for Morris. Well, you look at Markieff Morris, and you see a player, Greg, who is finally meeting his potential.
And you know what? Give credit to Morris because he's fallen in line with the team and the staff here. I think he's always had the talent to be an impact player. It just took a structured situation for him to really flourish, and I think he's found a home here in Washington.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Let's take a look at the 2K leaderboard to find out who are the best shooters from behind the arc last season. 4th, Otto Porter Jr.
The bucket must have looked 3 feet wide to him last year. I mean, very deserving in terms of that spot among the league leaders from 3.
2 shots.
That's good from Wall. You know, Smitty, you had a long career. What was it, 14, 15 seasons you played for the Spurs, who've led the way on resting players and certainly extending their careers.
Yeah, it is, Kevin, but it's hard for me because I look at it as from a fan standpoint. When I played and now, you know, you have that kid and his dad coming to the game, and he doesn't get a chance to see that star player. And a lot of times there's 2 or 3 guys that sit out. I understand the rest is needed because it's a long term, but I wish guys could find a way, and coaching staff and organization, maybe have rest days as far as practice, but let the guys play because kids want to see their stars play.
Right, but in the middle of your career, are you thinking, hey, I want to play long term so this rest is good? Or are you saying, forget the rest, I want to play?
I just want to play. I mean, I think one thing is I never thought about long term. I just wanted to play the game that was in front of me, the practice that was in front of me, the preseason game that was in front of me. You just wanted to play.
Morris. And another miss by Washington.
Yeah, blown opportunity after the 2-man game creates a terrific look.
That's how it's drawn up. That is, everything but the finish.
Now here's Jackson. There's the feed to Harris. Over to Wall. Harris missing again.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
And the foul called on Markieff Morris. That's his first foul.
And really just a great play to sacrifice his body and take the charge.
Wall against Jackson. The 3 from Bradley. Rebound by the Wizards. Gortat's got rebound number 13 for him here tonight. Porter. And the whistle blows, so a chance here for a 3-point play.
Boy, he reads the defense well. Makes a nice adjustment. Very dependable.
And last season, Greg, you heard a lot of names brought up for most improved player in the league, and Otto Porter was one of them.
I mean, and I think for Porter, the change came when he just felt more comfortable from deep in terms of shooting. He always had a solid mid-range game, but now he looks comfortable from deep and has become one of the bigger threats we have in the league.
One shot, gentlemen.
And they have yet to miss a shot from the line here this quarter.
Detroit's gone 3 of 7 tonight from 3-point territory. Jackson dishes to Bradley, looking to end his cold spell. Gortat with the defensive effort. Wizards have gone 7 of 13 from the field since the start of the second. And it's Wall in the corner. And again, Washington with the triple.
We will talk about feed the hot hand. That's what they're doing this quarter, which is why they've been able to maintain momentum.
Jackson kicks to Drummond. It's Bradley on the wing. It's stolen by Morris. Beal with it. 26 points for him last game against Philadelphia. Morris passes to Gortat. Over Drummond. Kept alive by Washington. Morris with the bucket. Morris has got 5.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Jackson kicks to Harris. Outside for Jackson to the middle. Here's Drummond. And nothing is falling for him right now. Stolen by Lure. Here's Bradley. Again, the miss by the Pistons.
Awfully hard to get back into the game when one of your key shooters is this ice cold and has been all quarter.
Wall, good.
And in the post, Wall's got a pretty well-developed game for a point guard. He can navigate his way through the big bodies with very few problems.
Now here's Lure. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Charlotte. Lure the screen. Feeds to Bradley. 4 on the clock. Morris with the rebound.
It's been a frustrating quarter for him shooting the basketball. He just has to make sure he's taking good shots.
Gortat dishes to Porter. Back to Gortat. Wall passes to Gortat. Wall attacking. And it's sent back by Drummond. Bradley kicks to Harris. He feeds it to Lure. The Pistons working the ball around now. Over to the left wing. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Drummond.
And taking a look here at the numbers for Otto Porter. A very nice season for him last year. 4th in three-point field goal percentage, and he was in the top 20 in field goal percentage, able to create offense with tremendous efficiency.
And you said it, top 5 percentage from deep. I don't think last year was an aberration. He's one of the deadliest sharpshooters in the game. Morris, no good.
Just great at getting after it defensively, forcing guys into tough shots.
Yeah, to be successful, you've got to protect the paint. He rises to that challenge.
And a new group getting ready for the Wizards. Mahinmi's checked in for Gortat. Mike Scott comes in for Morris. Jody Meeks, he's checked in for Beal. And it's Frazier in for John Wall. Now here's Ellenson. Defense is right there. Such a wide open look. 8 points for Johnson. Washington's gotten hot from three-point land in the second quarter, going 4 of 5 from downtown. Mahinmi kicks to Frazier.
Second foul. You don't want to pick up his 3rd in this half. We'll see if they'll make a substitution or not.
First trip to the line for him here.
Two shots.
That free throw, no good. Oubre is checked in for Otto Porter Jr. That one misses. Detroit's gone 1 of 3 from way outside since the start of the second quarter. Smith against Frazier. They set the pick. Nice shot by Smith.
Is he skinny? You bet. But Ish with enough strength to finish through contact.
Smith against Frazier. Meeks on the wing. Those three-pointers off the mark. And, well, Detroit shooting 31%, not looking sharp offensively, to say the least. They get it again. Marjanovic, and he lays it straight in. Marjanovic has got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
And despite the hot start from beyond, they've gotten away from shooting the triple.
Frazier against Smith. Now, here's Mahinmi. He's guarded closely. He clangs that one off the back iron, and down it falls. Mahinmi's got 4 this quarter.
I mean, if you're looking to get back into this game, you have to get tougher defensively.
Kennard, the pass to Ellenson. Inside, and Marjanovic with the slam.
Now flying high and throwing it down with the one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys. Now here's Frazier. He's got 5. The kick out to Scott. No good on the triple.
He's cooled down a little bit after draining those 2 3-pointers in the first quarter.
And there's the foul. It's on Tim Frazier. That is his first foul of the game. 36 seconds left here in the second. Pass to Johnson. To the middle. Here's Marjanovic. He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game.
Two shots. That's on the first.
First one falls for him. And that's good as he hits both of his shots. Washington leading now by 23. Here is Frazier. 5 points in the game. He kicks it to Scott. Mahinmi a screen. 2 on the clock. And finished off by Oubre.
And, you know, that's an example of how many plays we have in a game for which there's no stat. A monster dunk coming off just a terrific pick play.
Greg, you're right. It really did work to perfection. Gave him all the room he needed for the flush.
That's what happens when you get an excellent screen like that. He had plenty of space to slash right toward the basket.
And so it's Washington holding a very comfortable 25-point lead as the quarter comes to a close. And it's been their rugged defense setting the tone. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much. John, the shot is working for you, maybe more than the drive tonight.
Oh, I'm just trying to do whatever defense give me. They're giving me my jump shot right now, and I'm in a good rhythm. You see if they help me, I'm looking to pass my teammates. I'm not going to try to force the issue. If I got the shot, I got to take, I'm going to do it. I know my team need me to do more tonight, and that's what I want to do. If I want to be a match player and franchise player, I got to take my team along with me. That's what I'm trying to do.
Got to make them pay if they go under. Thanks, John. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. This big mountain of a man is Shaquille O'Neal, and this hill of a man is Kenny the Jet Smith. After the first 2 quarters of play, it's Washington in control. They are completely in control of the game, leading by a massive amount. Kenny, what did you see from them?
Boy, it was rough down there in the paint, and they were just dominant, taking it to the rack. But that's what you have to be willing to do. Take the action to the heart of the competition without any fear. That's why this is already a blowout.
Shaq, what'd you think about the Pistons?
Well, there are a few areas they need to improve on, but perimeter defense is priority numero uno. They got to be quicker to close out on the three-point shooters. You got to prevent the open looks. They weren't fighting through screens. They're just not doing enough, Ernie, especially outside.
And that is just about going to wrap it up as the second half is moments away. Down to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the crew.
Welcome back, folks. A lot to see in that shot from high above Washington, the Capitol, the Supreme Court, the Lincoln Memorial. That is one heck of a view. Well, we're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third. An exceptional performance from John Wall.
Yeah, he's really been...
On the court for the Pistons, Lure and Drummond together down low. Jackson and Bradley are in the backcourt, and it's Harris in at the 3, the small forward. Up top, Gortat, defended by Drummond. Wall, good.
And Wall, just a talented offensive player, someone who lights up the shot chart from just about every area.
Beal against Bradley. Back to Lure. The Pistons working the ball around now. That's good from 17 feet away. 8 points for Andre Drummond.
This is the shot Drummond wants to be consistent with. The mid-range jumper opens up everything else for him.
Wall dishes to Gortat. Pass to Morris. Over Lure. Oh, that's blocked. It's Bradley on the wing. Out of bounds, Washington takes possession.
John Lure, not a player you usually think about twice, but he was a solid contributor. Not the greatest of defenders, but he will always give you effort. Mostly deployed as a stretch 4.
Washington shooting straight 49% from the field. And here's Wall. He's got 14. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. And Lure, as you mentioned, Steve, becoming more and more of a stretch forward. Not a great shooting season for him last season, but he does open things up for an offense.
Yeah, John gives you more than just his shooting. He also can create off the bounce a little bit. Solid passer for his size and position.
No good on the free throw. No good at the stripe this time. Second misses also.
Do you see the frame on Andre Drummond? Easy for me to see why he can shed off so many defenders inside. He's incredibly strong. Hard to stop when he gets near the rim.
Porter kicks to Wall. There's the screen. Outside Beal. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. That one on Harris. And the strength of Andre Drummond, you talked about it, Steve. It's not just upper body, but lower body as well. He can open up a lot of space if he gets the ball down low.
You know, once he gets it in the paint, there's nothing you can do. His footwork off the block is coming along well. It's a process for him to refine his moves.
Free throw good, Beal.
And you could argue Bradley Beal was one of the bigger all-star snubs from last season. It's great to see what he can do when finally healthy, and has always been a dangerous scorer when he's at 100%.
And both free throws good for Beal. And with Beal, and Greg, you brought this up with his help because he hadn't been able really to play a full slate of games in his first 4 years in the NBA.
Yeah, and credit him for dedicating his efforts to improve his health. I mean, was a time when you thought injuries would maybe limit his career, but when he's on the court, he is one of the best we have at that off-guard position, and he's only going to get better.
Just hasn't had it tonight, but his teammates are picking up the slack.
Bradley passes to Jackson. Drummond with a screen on Wall to the paint, and it's Drummond with the jam. That gives him a double-double in this one. 10 points and 11 rebounds.
And when he gets himself into the right position, Drummond so powerful in terms of finishing at the rim. The only way to prevent that alley-oop is to keep him from getting to the launching pad in the first place.
Back to Beal. Lets the 3 fly. That's another one for him. His 5th in just 7 shots.
And just carrying over from his last game. Completely dialed in. You can sense his confidence.
I totally agree. Heat check after heat check. He realizes, man, I'm still hot.
Time called here. The Pistons decide to talk it over. And look at John Wall. What a contribution so far.
And he just keeps hitting shot after shot. They need to design a way to deny him the basketball. Make someone else beat you.
The Pistons have gone 2 of 5 shooting here in the 3rd quarter. Jackson kicks to Harris. Pulls up on the wing. Drummond. No good. Shot missing. And Washington the other way now. They're off to Denver after this game as they apply their skills at the Pepsi Center. That sets in motion a 4-game road trip for him. Gortat with a screen on Harris. Down low and stolen by Drummond. Now Detroit moving it up. Harris has got the ball, and his offense just hasn't been there. Well, they're really making a point of keeping the ball moving around.
That's the key. The D can't focus on one player, and no matter what anybody tells you, that ball will always move quicker than the defender.
Here's Porter. Not enough on that one as it misses. Detroit's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Lure. And we take a look here at the shot chart for Detroit.
And this is a bit of a nightmare game for him thus far. Just nothing working, and it has to be affecting his confidence. He just doesn't look like the player he normally is out there, and you can see it in his body language after every missed shot. Boy, this is tough.
Outside Porter. He dishes it to Beal. They get it back. And Gortat kicks to Wall. Bangs home the trifecta. Wall's got 5 points now this quarter.
And really, as the three-pointers keep dropping, you get the sense that the frustration is mounting for the defense.
Jackson dishes to Harris. Looking to end his cold spell. Porter with a block. And now Porter pushing it up. No one back to stop him.
And on the defensive side, just a failure to match up.
Well, the one thing you want to take away is anything at the rim. Just too easy.
Jackson kicks to Drummond. Kicks it out to Bradley. Looking to end the run. That one no good. And it's Washington the other way. On the wing, Porter. Oh, Beal in position. Morris passes to Wall. Back to Morris. Outside Beal. Clock at 6. Washington needs to get a shot off here. Here's Wall. Again, the miss by Wall. The Pistons shooting just 31% in the game. Jackson with it. Now Beal defending. And the basket by Jackson.
The defense having to respect Jackson's outside game. That opened up things for him in the inside.
For Washington, they've gone a somewhat subpar 4 of 10 on their shots in the second half so far. Wall dishes to Gortat. There's the pick. Passes it to Beal. Wall against Jackson. And Wall. Here we go now. Outside for Beal. Back to Gortat. The second chance effort. And it's sent back by Drummond. They retain possession. On the wing, Porter. Goes up again. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good.
I'll tell you what, his shot's off, but the rest of the team is on. That's why they're still winning.
Lobbed up there for Drummond. Gortat with the steal. And it's Lure with the rebound.
I appreciate the attack mindset, but with the defense tracking him down, it was probably better to kick that one out.
Mahinmi's checked in for Washington. Then for the Pistons, Marjanovic checked in for John Lure. Stanley Johnson comes in for Tobias Harris. And Smith subbed in for Avery Bradley. Smith kicks to Johnson. The Pistons working the ball around now. Drummond in the post. He's against Morris. Down goes basket number 6 for him this game. He's taken 12 shots and made half of them. Wall passes to Porter. The dish to Beal. Morris with the screen for Beal. Off the pick. Oh, and the dunk by Beal.
And, you know, that's an example of how many plays we have in a game for which there's no stat. A monster dunk coming off just a terrific pick play.
Greg, you're right. It really did work to perfection. Gave him all the room he needed for the flush.
That's what happens when you get an excellent screen like that. He had plenty of space to slash right toward the basket.
Inside, Drummond, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You see this time and time again, teams looking to foul Drummond. They are betting he will not make his free throws.
The Pistons have gone 3 for 3 at the line tonight. He's off on the first.
The 9th overall pick in 2012. Drummond qualifies as an absolute steal at that spot.
And a new group getting ready for the Wizards. Mike Scott's checked in for Morris. Kelly Oubre comes in for Porter. Jody Meeks, he's checked in for Beal. And Tim Frazier subbed in for John Wall. And the Pistons making a change here as well. Kennard's checked in. He doesn't get the second one. Washington has gone 2 of 2 from long range in the third quarter so far. Frazier right side. Now Oubre dishes it to Meeks. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Fires the 3. Offensive rebound. Mahimi kicks to Oubre. To the right side. Back to Frazier. Whoops, anticipated the pass. Turnover.
A moment here to see the stats for Frazier, how he performed last season. Last year averaged 7 points a game, 5 assists and 2 rebounds. Backup point guard, always an important position, and he fills that role beautifully.
Without a good floor conductor coming off the bench, your offense can quickly grow stagnant. He solves that problem well.
Out of bounds, Washington takes possession.
And right there, a little miscommunication on that pass.
Henry Ellenson's checked in for Detroit. This has been a one-sided affair.
Yeah, they've done a nice job of extending their lead and maintaining that intensity level.
They set the pick. Frazier with it. Now Smith defending. Here's Scott. And it's off from three-point range. Detroit's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. And Washington called for the foul. And Stanley Johnson, the youngster out of Arizona, grew up in Los Angeles where he was the high school player of the year. You know, Steve, he hasn't had the easiest time adjusting to the NBA, but he certainly has room to improve, and right now the offense just isn't there for him.
You know, the question is, people are saying, is time ticking away for Stanley to prove that he's a rotation player? He's kind of predictable on offense. People pushes him to go right because he only goes right. Just hasn't developed the way the team was hoping for.
And that one falls for Johnson. So Johnson hits 2 of them. Washington's gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. Now here's Frazier. He has 5. Here's Kennard. He's guarded by Meeks. Kicks it to Smith. The pass to Ellenson. 5 to shoot. Here's Johnson. A nice jump shot from the top of the key. Johnson's got 4 points in the quarter. This could get even more out of hand if they continue to put up points.
Wow, Kevin, what a performance we are seeing.
Frazier dishes to Oubre. Johnson against Frazier. Now the feed to Mahimi. It's Scott on the wing. Second shot opportunity. Rebound by the Pistons. Marjanovic has got 9 rebounds in the game. Getting it done. To the middle. It's deflected. It's stolen by Frazier. Feeds it to Oubre. Nice ball movement by Washington. And again, Washington no good. Detroit's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. Johnson can't get it to go.
That's one of those where you think you've got it, you relax for just a second, and then you're kicking yourself.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. That one on Johnson.
Last on the first.
And he makes the first. And he makes both free throws. The Pistons shooting is leaving something to be desired, just 36% here in the third quarter. And Ellenson throws it down.
Clearly, he's one of the best there is in the business when it comes to making that lead pass.
Over to the wing. Oubre passes to Mahimi. Expanding his range. Connects from three-point range. And that's now 7 points for Kelly Oubre.
Another triple, and that's been the story of this second half.
Coming out of the break, they've relied on their perimeter offense to generate points. Right now, it's working.
Pass to Ellenson. Just 5 to shoot. Ellenson with a screen for Johnson. Again, the miss by Johnson. Washington's gone 3 of 5 with the long ball since entering the second half. And Meeks kicks to Scott. Shoots over Ellenson. Scott can't get it to go.
Not sure of the thought process on that one. Really bad shot selection.
Well, you're playing for the team, not just yourself. They needed much better execution that trip down the floor.
Oh boy, to be young again.
Makes you nostalgic, doesn't it? And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. It's on Ellenson. And Washington making a change here. McCullough's checked in.
You know, last season was a strong one for Ish Smith. He filled in as a starter, and he came off the bench. More of a scoring point guard, but he did a nice job of setting the table for everybody.
Last on the first.
The first free throw is good. And with Ish Smith, he filled in for Reggie Jackson a lot as a starter last season, and he was terrific. He showed that he can be effective in whatever role you need him. Stan Van Gundy had high praise for him.
Yeah, and what I like about him is that he'll give you production if you play him 5 minutes or 30 minutes. Never loses focus or disappears in a game.
Here's Kennard. He has 6. He feeds it to Ellenson. There's 38 seconds left in the third quarter. Marjanovic with a screen for Johnson. Just 5 on the clock. Pass to Marjanovic. That shot off. Now Washington takes it the other way. Outside, Meeks. Sinks the triple. Meeks got 13.
And those aren't the type of three-point opportunities that you can allow in the NBA.
Johnson kicks to Marjanovic. Oh, and the buzzer beater's good.
And you can't end the period any better than that.
Yeah, I agree. Shot clock doing his thing. He times it out perfectly.
And so it's the Washington Wizards, leading by a full 31 points at the end of the quarter. The three-point shooting has come fast and furious to the tune of what has become a big-time blowout in progress. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Let's listen in now to head coach Stan Van Gundy from a few moments ago.
We need to make solid plays, okay? Solid plays, aggressive plays, but solid plays, all right?
Wanting to keep up the energy here, Stan Van Gundy would also like to add a dose of greater efficiency.
You know, it's a delicate balance. To perform your best, you need to go 100%, but also be in control while doing it.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. We've got Jody Meeks. Jason Smith is out there with Scott. And it's Satoransky in at the point guard position. That's the 5 on the floor for the Wizards.
Definitely a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look.
Here's McCullough. Screen by Smith. McCullough, the pass to Satoransky. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
Not quite enough defense that time around. Just lucky he was off.
Galloway dishes to Tolliver. Back to Galloway. He kicks to Tolliver. There's a screen. The Pistons need to get off a shot here. He used that pick to perfection. Bullock's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for the Pistons. Washington shooting for the game at 42%. Here's Satoransky. Outside, Meeks. Here's McCullough, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
And putting in the work on the boards, and it's paying off with chances like that.
And GA, he does put in the work. You're right. It's why he's on the finishing end of one putback slam after another.
He just never gives up on any play, any shot. He's always battling in the paint. He's one of the best at that position.
Detroit making a switch here. Harris is checked in. And Smitty, this year the NBA choosing to start the season a bit earlier to cut down on the back-to-back games during the year. Do you think the NBA should spread the schedule out even more? Are you happy the way they have at least gone about this season?
I think the NBA, Adam Silver and those guys have done a fantastic job. I love how they give the guys basically a week after All-Star game. They're starting a little bit early to cut down the back-to-backs. Either way, if you can find ways to help the recovery time is great. But I think right now, the league and the games and the scheduling, they're in good hands right now.
Back to Galloway. Tolliver for three. The offensive rebound. A nice shot by Ellenson.
Fantastic positioning on that offensive board. Then right back up.
Wizards have gone 2 of 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. And Satoransky kicks to Meeks. He dishes it to Smith. Back to Meeks. Stripped it away. Here's the break. Moving it up. Here's Galloway. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there. Washington's gotten off to an 0 for 2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. Third minute of action now gone here in the fourth. The shot by Satoransky, no good. Detroit's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Harris kicks to Galloway. Harris outside. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And the defender there a little out of position. Harris sees this, takes advantage, draws the foul.
And Tobias Harris, the former Tennessee Volunteer. You would think a player who has been so efficient, Steve, on offense his whole career wouldn't have bounced around as much as he has.
It is surprising how much he's changed teams. Always a factor on offense, and he doesn't need many touches. If I'm a coach, I love to have him as an option.
And he knocks down the first one. And with the new TV deals, we've seen players' salaries and caps certainly skyrocketing. What does that do in affecting relationships among the players, between the players, within a team?
I think, Kevin, when guys are happy, obviously with their salaries, they play better. But I think also it can affect sometimes, let's talk about it team-wise. You have a guy that's not playing at the level that you thought he would be playing. Because of the numbers, it's going to be harder and harder to move some of those guys. Then you have a guy that's playing better than a guy that's making a lot of money. He's going to expect, and some of these teams are not going to be able to play, so you're going to see a lot of movement. And back in our day, Kevin, my day, you didn't see that much movement. Because of these skyrocketing salaries, I think now it's going to be more and more movement.
And Steve, with the new deal signed between players and the league, it'll be, I think, easier for teams that have drafted and developed a player now to keep that player and not lose them to more money to another team.
You're totally right. I think guys getting drafted and they can play, they will definitely be there for years and years because they can make the most money with their teams respectively.
Time now for an injury report.
Hey guys, got an update from the Wizards head athletic trainer. At this point, he's saying that it looks like a grade 1 sprained ankle. That is a bitter pill for them to swallow so early in the season. It clearly changes the look of this team going forward, Kevin.
Thanks for checking in, DA. Injuries are always tough to deal with, but they're just a fact of life in the NBA.
And he'll have a lot of support as he goes through the recovery process. They want him back as soon as possible.
And we know how much better they'll be as a team when he's out of those street clothes and back in uniform.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
Here's Satoransky. Smith right side. It's Drummond with the rebound. Drummond's got rebound number 15 here tonight. There's Galloway, passes it to Harris. And the new CBA hammered out Smitty last season between the league and the players. It really seemed to get done. Adam Silver, a terrific job. Chris Paul leading the players' side. They got together early and seemed to be much more cordial in their negotiations. I think that's a wonderful sign.
I think the game is in good hands right now, and I was happy from, like you said, from the league side and the players' union side. You said it best, Kevin. They got together early, and that's why I think it was seamless. And the game right now is going so well, and they didn't mess it up, and I'm happy about it.
And you know what? I'll even go on. I'll take it one step further. I don't know if there's a professional league in the world right now that is in better shape in almost every aspect than the NBA. What do you think?
I totally agree, Kevin. Right now, we have a magical time right now in the NBA. Things are running well on the court and off the court.
The shot by Satoransky, no good, and the whistle blows. It's going to be on John Wall. That is his first foul of the game. Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Tobias Harris. And the Pistons with possession. A big stretch here going 10-2. There's the pick. Here's Bullock, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And he can't get the first one. Well, the league has long had a rookie orientation program. People rave about it. It continues to develop and evolve. More recently, Steve, they've created a program for players transitioning to retirement. This is an outstanding idea. What's important with that in your eyes?
I'm glad you brought that up, Kevin. I think the rookie orientation should even start even earlier. I think it should start at the college level. Not saying that everybody's going to make it to the NBA, but it helps you what they give you just in the game of life. And then
And just the overall aggressiveness. Wall enjoys taking on a challenge and succeeding, especially when the D is all over him.
There's Galloway, covered by Wall. Galloway, the pass to Bullock. The dish now to Tolliver. 6 on the shot clock. Kicks it out to Bradley, looking to end his cold spell. Misses off the right iron.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
Coming down the stretch here, holding the lead, you like him to be more efficient offensively.
Drummond the screen. Bradley kicks to Drummond. And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. It's going to go on Markieff Morris.
Fouling Drummond when he gets the ball in close, understandable strategy, given his troubles at the line.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And the first one at the line is good. And the demands of NBA basketball, no secret. The league has taken measures, Steve, to allow players more time for rest, which is good, and more time for recovery, which is better. Less back-to-backs. Do you think more can be done and should be done in those areas?
You know, I know the league is looking at it. The less back-to-backs is fantastic, and I think they're looking at the travel and the recovery. So as more and more they can limit back-to-backs, I think that helps guys recover. I think guys get a chance to be ready to go, because playing a back-to-back is extremely hard. And I think guys on their own are doing a lot to be able to take care of their bodies in the offseason. So I think both the players and league are doing a fantastic job.
Morris dishes to Gortat. A second chance effort. Count it. Bradley with the ball. Kicks it to Jackson. Drummond with a screen on Wall. Wall with the steal. And the slam dunk by Wall.
And how about John Wall? Just outstanding at sprinting down the floor and just jumping all over the defense.
A chance here to get a quick injury report. Now an update on Tobias Harris from Hall of Famer David Aldridge. David, what'd you find out?
Well, guys, I had a moment to catch up with the Pistons head athletic trainer. He told me that in his opinion, the injury does not appear to be too serious. A really discouraging development for this team at such an early point in the season. We'll see how they respond, Kevin.
Okay, Dave, thanks. Sounds like he won't be out for too long. Beal, the pass to Porter. Shot clock at 5. Rebounded by the Pistons. Following this game, they hit the road. They'll take on the Knicks in New York. That'll be the second of this 2-game road trip. And it's Otto Porter with the foul. That's his first foul of the game. In the bonus, we'll go to the free throw line.
Shooting 2.
First one falls for him. And Reggie Jackson, the Boston College Eagle, when he is on the floor, you can see how he acts as a spark plug for his team. Steve, a very creative player whose big strength is getting things going on offense.
And wherever Reggie's been, he's been great in that role of catalyst. When he's injured, you can see how the offense changes. Very underrated as a playmaker in this league.
Morris kicks to Porter. Goes to the reverse layup and traps it in.
You like the aggressiveness, pushing all the right buttons. He has this team rolling.
Detroit's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we've reached the fourth quarter. Gortat with the steal. Dishes at the Wall. Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. And now the Pistons, fast break. And the shot goes in.
That's the leadership they're looking for from Jackson. Staying patient, surveying the court, locates the open man.
Morris a screen. Wall dishes to Morris. Wall against Jackson. Wall passes to Morris. Releases. Doesn't go that time. And the Pistons now going the other way. Here's Jackson. Here's Drummond. No good that time. Gortat with the defensive effort. Washington's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. And Wall kicks to Porter. Wall against Jackson. Gortat, and it's Gortat finishing it off.
He is a big guy, and Gortat doesn't play the finesse game. This is a guy who's all about strength. Forget about laying it up there. He's going to take the power approach.
Bradley kicks to Jackson. Pistons passing it around. And it's Bradley. That time on the assist by Johnson. Johnson's got 3 assists in the game. Wall against Jackson. There's a screen by Gortat. And Wall kicks to Porter. Back to Wall. 5 on the clock. Here's Morris. 11 feet away. No good on the shot. And Detroit the other way now. Now Detroit moving it up. Jackson's got the ball. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Outside, Beal. And Smitty, at the start of just about every season, NBA officials are given new directives or points of emphasis for officiating. In fact, they don't call it POE anymore. They just have things to really make sure you're on top of for the layman. Are there any changes you'd like to see in the way the game is officiated?
Well, you know, I think one change, I like it where it is, and obviously continued freedom of movement because we want to see a free flow of games. But I would love to see, Kevin, an offensive rebound. Say your team gets the offensive rebound, the 24-second shot clock is not reset to 24, maybe to 14, and that could kind of speed the game up.
It's Porter outside, rebounded by the Pistons.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for Washington.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
They can chalk this one up, but these two teams will see plenty more of one another before the season's over.
And while there was some nice performances tonight, it definitely ended up being a solid outing for Marcin Gortat.
Boy, such a big factor in the game tonight. His intensity on the boards. Even when guys put a body on him, he somehow still beats them to the ball.
A different look here for Detroit. Drummond comes in for John Lure. And it's Tolliver in for Avery Bradley. And so he makes both from the line. 54 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And there's the pass to Jackson. Drummond with a screen on Frazier. Here's Jackson. Gortat with the block, but he recovers it. There's the pick. Shot clock at 6. Jackson dishes to Drummond. Morris with the rebound.
An uncontested look from mid-range. He typically drains that one.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. There's a screen by Gortat. Here's Frazier. The feed now to Porter. The layup off target.
Allowing no space for the shooter to get comfortable. Just terrific.
Oh, did you see that?
And they've earned this one, showing an ability to dominate in front of their home crowd.
You know, you feel on top of the world when it happens as a player, just the relationship you have with the fans.
And so it's Washington easily grabbing this one. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team by far tonight.
And you got to commend this sort of dominance, particularly here at home. It's a great feeling when you play almost a perfect game and to have that crowd be so pumped up.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Marcin. Some impressive numbers for you on the boards. Not all about stats, but what does that do for this team?
Well, the most important thing for me as a big man is, get those rebounds, and I feel like that's my responsibility. So I'm just trying to get as many as I can.
Well, you got a whole lot tonight, March. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. So long.